let's do some float training. I'm just going to put some lucerne in a hay bag for him. Float is on, so I'm just going to go park it next to the indoor and then we'll go and get the horse. I've got the float hooked up. I was about to wash it and put it away. My float had a really busy week last week, but I thought I might just do some quick float training with one of my horses before I put it away. Just going to get some float boots out. I just pulled these out, but evidently a mouse has got to it first. Ugh. Look how filthy it is. Usually I wash my float out after each time I use it, but it got used 5 days in a row last week doing fire evacuations and all the rest. So today she's going to have to get a good wash, but we're going to do this first. Got the lucerne in, let's go get the horse. So you might be wondering why I'm doing this. Now, this horse has been float trained. He's been on and off the float and been driven around the farm plenty of times. When I got him, he was a kind of handled, not really handled. He knew how to lead and pick up his feet. Kind of handled 4-year-old. Now, I was yet to have actually taken him off the property anywhere, just because he's one of those really nice horses that's really quiet and just goes on the back burner all the time because he's so quiet. So he hasn't had as much work as he deserves. Of course, as Murphy's Law would have it, the first time he needs to go off the property was for an emergency vet trip last week. And it was dark and it was all of the things. So I just want to get him back on the float today, make sure he's comfortable, give him a positive experience, and then he can go back out and we can just keep revisiting this. Just going to pop his float boots on. He doesn't like float boots very much. It makes him do the big catwalk. Oh, you've worn them before. He hates float boots so much, so I'm just going to give him a little walk in them first. Good boy, you're right. I'll be fair on him, he hasn't worn them much. Stay back, Blue. It's all good. You're not stuck. Right, this is fun. Whee! Good boy. That's fine. All right, let's get him on. What I am going to do is move the divider over so he's got more room and it's just really inviting. I do this with all of mine until they learn to self-load. So I'm really not phased how long this takes. I just want him to have a good experience. Good boy. Yeah, you can smell all the old poo on here. Good boy. Mummy hasn't washed it yet. I'm sorry. Good boy. So he's definitely a bit more hesitant than he was the other night. The other night he just kind of had a little sniff and then walked straight on. But good. I don't want to ask them when they're looking to the outside. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. Here you go. Good boy. Just having a little sniff of the chest bar. Look, there's lucerne. Okay. There we go. There we go. Good boy. You're fine. I've just put the lead rope over the bar. He's not tied up yet because the last thing I need is a horse to pull back and have a little freak out. Up over. Leave your leg. Good boy. Right. You can just have a little minute to have a think. Good boy. Again, I just don't want to go rushing anything. He's having a jolly old time with the hay. Hey, darling. You gonna pop your head back over there? No, that's the wrong side, my love. Good boy. Up here. Good job. Right. dusty that is. Coming down. Good job. Good job. Now, even though he's got a breaching bar, we still want to stand on the side, because if he kicks it, it's not going to hit me. If I'm standing directly behind it, I can get flattened under. Hi, darling. Yeah. I don't need your head around this side, please. Come back. No. Good boy. Get tied up. Yeah. So this is a good success. He's obviously more interested in the loosen than anything else. So let's take him for a little drive. I'm just going to do a couple of laps around the arena each way and then around the round yard just so he can get the feel for the turning. I think this is absolutely fine. He's really not concerned. He definitely got on slower than he usually does, but that's okay. Again, this is all for confidence building. Right, so he's banging around quite a bit, so I'm just going to give him a second. What is he doing? Oh, all right, let's go have a look, see what's up. What's going on? What are you doing? I'd appreciate if you didn't do that. No, that's a really bad idea too. Are we good? Yeah. So we have a new behaviour. I can hear him kicking the shit out of my tack box. I don't appreciate that. Obviously he's anxious, right? So he's a little bit upset. He's a little bit nervous about that, but I'm not going to go and unload him until he stops that, because I don't want him thinking that if he barrels the crap out of my float, then he gets to get off. So it's just an unfortunate part of life. When you are a horse, you need to know how to get on a float and travel, because as we see in emergencies and they have to get on the float to go somewhere, they need to be able to do so. So as I was saying before, it was through that really hot week when all these bushfires were raging through and this and that and whatever, and my husband and I had been out moving horses for people and this and that. Anyway, I had the farrier, and when I had the farrier, I saw that he had a little bit of something in the corner of his eye, and I went, "Oh, what's that?" Anyway, tried to irrigate it out, couldn't. Tried my tricks to get it out, couldn't. So I called the vets and they were like, "Yep, no worries, bring him in." So I took him in, and he was great getting on the float. He was a really good boy, but it was just getting on dark when he got on the float, which isn't a bother. Horses often travel really well in the dark. Anyway, we get to the vet, and then he has to have all of the awful things. He's got to get a needle in the neck and get sedated, and then he's got to have numbing stuff put through his eye, and then he gets a nerve block, and then someone pokes around his eye. You know, it just wasn't a very nice experience for him. And it is what it is. That's life, and shit happens. And then he had to get back on the float. There's a couple of lights out the front of the vets, and I've got a light inside the float. So he wasn't in, you know, pitch black or anything like that, but he did have to get back on the float, semi-sedated, and it just wasn't a very nice experience for him. So because he's so green to all of this still, this is why I just want to come back in and make it a good experience for him. There is a lot less noise happening back there now. I think he's finally got his feet and he's not cracking the shits. I can see him moving the hay bag around a little bit, so I think he's just tucking into his feed now. And of course I have my trusty sidekick with me. As much as I'm not happy that my horse had to go to the vet last week, it was a good kick in the butt that I need to start getting this horse out more and doing some stuff and actually giving him a life, because he's one of those horses that's just so sweet, and he's constantly put on the back burner because he is so sweet, and he retains information really, really well. So I don't really prioritize him, which is a shame, because he could give so much love and happiness to someone. Right, we're pulling up. That's a lot of poo for 5 minutes, baby. Now again, we're just going to take this slowly so we can bring these up and he can just relax a few minutes. He can just stand here for a couple of minutes and just chill out, because we don't want to get him in the habit of opening up the doors and then he comes straight off. Do you know what I mean? He's standing pretty quiet. So I'll open this. Again, just so he's not conditioned to thinking that when that's opened, he gets to come out straight away. I'll untie him. I do a lot of stuff on my own, so my horses all need to know how to do things with just me here. Good boy. And you're going to wait. boy. He's never been one to try and rush, which is good. Come back. Good boy. Back. Back. Good boy. Good job. Good job. Good boy. Good job. How's that? My goodness, it's not that bad. This is not my hay bag. This is my friend's and I need to give it back to her. Come on, darling. Right, so, like you would at a new place, come out, time up. Good boy. Float boots off. Good boy. Roll them up before any grass gets in them. The whole ordeal has definitely wound him up more than it usually would, so I'm glad that we did this, and I will continue to do this until he stops kicking the crackers out of my float, because that's new. We're not going to do that. Good boy, hop off it. Good job. Now you can go over there and you can go back to your paddock. There we have it. That is today's session all done. I'll continue working on this. Won't go too hard. I don't want to make him sour to it, but he can just do this maybe once a week for the next few weeks, just until I'm a bit happier with how he goes. Can't blame the poor boy though. It's not very nice having to go to the doctors, is it?